In the quiet, candlelit chambers of 18th-century Edinburgh, a young philosopher pored over the mysteries of human understanding. His name was David Hume. With a keen intellect and a skeptical eye, Hume would challenge the very foundations of religious belief. His inquiries would echo through the ages, inviting us to question the assumptions we hold about divine providence. David Hume was born in the year 1711 in Scotland, a land steeped in tradition and religious fervor. Yet, from a young age, Hume nurtured a deep-seated curiosity for the workings of the human mind. This curiosity would drive him to become one of the central figures of the Scottish Enlightenment, a period of profound intellectual and cultural growth. At a time when the world was awakening to new ideas, Hume emerged as a philosopher, unafraid to question the status quo. In his writings, Hume embarked on a daring endeavor. He sought to explore the nature of belief and understanding. Central to his work was a profound skepticism towards concepts that many accepted without question. Among these was divine providence. Divine providence, the belief that a higher power guides the universe with purpose and intention, was a cornerstone of religious thought in Hume's time. Yet, Hume was not convinced. Hume argued that our beliefs about God and divine intervention did not originate from divine reality. Instead, they stemmed from human perception. His contention was that our minds are wired to seek patterns and interpret experiences in familiar ways. This tendency to find patterns, even when none exist, forms the bedrock of many religious beliefs. Hume's skepticism was not a denial of the divine, but rather a call to understand the origins of belief more deeply. In his seminal work, An Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Hume delved into the nature of miracles, offering a critical analysis that would stir controversy. Miracles, according to religious doctrine, are events that surpass the capabilities of natural laws, attributed to divine intervention. Hume, however, questioned their validity. He argued that miracles are fundamentally unreliable, as they contravene the consistent and observable laws of nature. Hume posited that the evidence for miracles typically relies on testimony, often anecdotal, frequently secondhand, and always susceptible to exaggeration. He famously wrote, "A wise man proportions his belief to the evidence." To Hume, the likelihood of a miracle, being an event so contrary to the established laws of nature, was exceedingly improbable. He suggested that it is always more rational to disbelieve a miraculous event than to accept it as true without substantial evidence. For Hume, the human propensity to believe in miracles was a reflection of our psychological makeup rather than a testament to divine acts. He explored how emotions, cultural norms, and personal experiences shape our perceptions of reality. This exploration led him to a stark conclusion. If our beliefs about divine intervention are grounded in human psychology, the foundation upon which these beliefs rest is inherently unstable. Yet, Hume was aware of the objections his views would face. Perhaps the strongest came from those who asserted that divine revelation was an undeniable truth. These individuals claimed that revelations from a higher power provided incontrovertible evidence of divine will. Hume, however, was unyielding in his skepticism. He contended that revelations, much like miracles, were rooted in subjective experience. Hume's analysis of revelation was meticulous. He questioned the reliability of personal experiences and the potential for self-deception. People, he argued, often interpret intense emotional experiences as communications from the divine. Yet, without objective verification, such experiences remain deeply personal and subjective. He challenged believers to critically examine the origins of their convictions. To illustrate his points, Hume often drew upon the religious landscape of his time. Christianity, with its rich tapestry of miracles and revelations, served as a prime example. The resurrection of Jesus Christ, a cornerstone of Christian faith, was seen through Hume's lens as a miraculous claim reliant on testimonial evidence. Hume urged his readers to consider the weight of evidence versus the improbability of the event itself. Hume's insights were not meant to diminish the significance of religious belief, but to encourage a deeper exploration of its foundations. His work invited individuals to reflect on the nature of faith and the role of evidence in shaping belief systems. The implications of his analysis were profound, suggesting that if religious belief is a product of human perception, it necessitates a reevaluation of what constitutes the basis of faith itself. As we delve further into Hume's philosophy, we uncover a thinker committed to understanding the origins of human belief. His skepticism was a lens through which he sought clarity, a means to unravel the complexities of human thought. By questioning the assumptions surrounding divine providence, Hume opened a dialogue that continues to resonate. His inquiries challenge us to consider the interplay between perception and reality, inviting us to reflect on how we construct meaning in a world filled with uncertainty. Join us as we continue to unravel the philosophical debates that push the boundaries of our understanding. In our next exploration, we will dive into how Hume's ideas have influenced modern thought and continue to shape our perspectives on faith and reason. The journey is far from over, and there is much more to uncover. Hume's examination of religious belief, particularly the notion of divine revelation, was as methodical as it was daring. For many, divine revelations are considered sacred truths, unassailable and direct communications from a higher power. These revelations, whether depicted in Holy Scriptures or recounted through personal testimonies, form the bedrock of faith for countless believers. They are perceived as moments when the divine directly intervenes or communicates with humanity, offering guidance, insight, or commands that are to be followed with unwavering devotion. However, Hume, ever the skeptic, approached these claims with a critical lens. He was acutely aware of the inherent subjectivity in such experiences. Revelations, by their nature, rely heavily on individual interpretation and personal experience. Hume argued that what one person perceives as a divine message might, to another, appear as a simple coincidence or a product of psychological influence. This subjectivity, Hume contended, undermines the universal applicability of revelations as evidence of divine truth. To illustrate his point, Hume examined the variations in religious experiences across different cultures and historical contexts. He noted that what might be considered a divine revelation in one religious tradition could be seen quite differently in another. For instance, the visions described by Christian mystics during the Middle Ages often bore striking resemblances to those reported in other religious traditions, such as the ecstatic experiences of Sufi mystics in Islam or the enlightenment moments of Buddhist monks. These similarities suggested to Hume that such experiences are more likely rooted in human psychology and common neurological patterns than in actual divine intervention. Furthermore, Hume argued that the interpretation of these experiences is heavily influenced by cultural and social factors. The religious environment in which an individual is raised, the expectations of the community, and the prevailing theological doctrines all play a significant role in shaping how one perceives and interprets supposed divine messages. This cultural conditioning, for Hume, further complicates the claim that revelations are universally valid or divinely ordained. Hume's inquiries were not limited to the subjective nature of revelations, but extended to the mechanisms by which individuals come to believe in such phenomena. He posited that emotions and personal biases often cloud judgment, leading people to accept claims of divine revelation without the rigorous examination they would apply to other types of evidence. This, he believed, is partly because revelations often provide psychological comfort, affirming beliefs that individuals deeply wish to be true. Hume's analysis of revelation was part of a broader critique of the relationship between faith and reason. He questioned whether faith, when stripped of its subjective and emotional components, could stand on its own as a rational enterprise. This line of inquiry led to a profound reevaluation of the foundations upon which religious belief is built. If, as Hume suggested, faith is largely a product of human psychology and perception, then the question arises, what remains as the undeniable foundation of religious belief? To address this, Hume explored the role of evidence in religious conviction. He maintained that any claim of divine intervention or revelation should be subjected to the same standards of evidence that we apply to other areas of knowledge. For Hume, belief should be proportionate to the evidence available. In the absence of verifiable evidence, faith, while meaningful on a personal level, cannot claim universal validity or rational superiority. Additionally, Hume considered the historical consequences of relying on subjective experiences as the basis for faith. He observed that such reliance has often led to conflicts and divisions, not only between different religious traditions, but also within them. Disagreements over the interpretation of revelations have been a source of schism and strife throughout history, as seen in the numerous sects and denominations that have emerged within Christianity alone. Hume's exploration of these themes was not intended to dismiss or diminish religious belief. Rather, he sought to encourage a deeper understanding of its origins and implications. By urging believers to critically examine the basis of their faith, Hume aimed to foster a more reflective and open-minded approach to religious inquiry. He hoped that by acknowledging the psychological and cultural influences on belief, individuals might engage more thoughtfully with their own convictions and those of others. Moreover, Hume's work invites us to consider the broader implications of his analysis for our understanding of human nature. His insights highlight the complexity of the human mind mind and the ways in which our perceptions and emotions shape our understanding of the world. This understanding can lead to a greater appreciation of the diversity of human experience and the myriad ways in which people seek meaning and connection. As we reflect on Hume's legacy, it is clear that his contributions to philosophy continue to resonate. His skepticism, far from being a mere negation of religious belief, serves as a catalyst for critical thought and open dialogue. By challenging us to question our assumptions and explore the psychological underpinnings of belief, Hume's work remains a vital part of the ongoing conversation about faith, reason, and the nature of human understanding. In this exploration, we have seen how Hume's skeptical analysis dismantles the notion of divine providence as an external, objective force. Instead, he invites us to see it as a construct of human perception shaped by our psychological tendencies and cultural contexts. This shift from divine to human-centered explanations for religious belief encourages us to reconsider the foundations upon which faith is built. As we conclude this discussion, we look forward to continuing our journey into the philosophical debates that challenge our deepest convictions. Hume's insights have laid the groundwork for future explorations into the intersections of faith, reason, and human understanding. Join us next time as we delve deeper into these themes, examining how Hume's ideas have influenced modern thought and continue to shape our perspectives on the world. Until then, we leave you with a thought. In questioning the nature of belief and the evidence upon which it rests, we open ourselves to a deeper, more nuanced understanding of the human condition. This journey, while challenging, holds the promise of greater clarity and insight into the mysteries that surround us. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to our next exploration together.